Hi, my name is Arielle Bastine. I'm the daughter of Shannon Pulliam, formerly, and Jason Pulliam. My mother married Jason soon after she graduated high school. It was a bad marriage, meaning her high school sweetheart proved to be a wife beater. He abused my mom heavily, physically. Things got so bad that they finally split up, leaving my mother to raise my younger brother and me by herself. We moved around with a lot of different family members, and there were more than just a few times when my mother was working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. There were times when we would have gone without, but somehow she made it work. When I was about 6 or 7, Mama started dating the only man I will ever call Dad. And his name was Arielle Bastine. They dated for a while, and then they eventually got married, and he adopted my brother and me a couple years later. In many families, there's a wild child. And as I grew older, everyone could see that it was clearly me. By the time I reached high school, I was as rebellious as they come. I skipped classes, got suspended, and got in trouble because I would get into minor altercations. At this time, I was attending school in Theodore, Alabama, where I have lived almost my entire life, technically in Mobile. And I eventually got into so much trouble, most of the time involving a particular boyfriend of mine that my parents did not like at all, that my parents decided to move us to Petal, Mississippi. I went through a lot of changes whenever I moved to Petal. I met some people that have definitely changed my life for the better. And then I joined the band. Whenever I made the decision to join the band, I didn't even know what a cymbal was. I couldn't tell you what a mallet was, and I couldn't tell you what that big round thing that looks like a big stomach whenever you put it on the front of you is. Apparently it's a bass drum. That's also good to know since I'm a percussionist. It's nice to know new things. Being a member of such a large organization made me feel like I was included and like I was part of something so much bigger than myself. Being a member of the band changed my life. I didn't have anywhere else to go. And being a part of something like that is something that is hard to describe. I've never really been very religious, although everyone else in my family has always tried to make me that way. It wasn't until recently that I decided I wanted to devote my life to Christ. For a very long time now, I've always held on to this hatred and anger that I don't think will ever be any words to describe. And anyone who has ever been through certain kinds of situations or seen certain things knows that kind of hatred and anger that I'm talking about. I've learned to let go of some of that anger, and much has changed in the past few years. Before I made the decision to accept Christ, I'd seen so much that made me doubt. I've known people that have died way before they should have, good people that I know live for God, and I would look at their lives and look at my mother and what others like her have had to go through and wonder why. I was sitting in my car late one night after I got off work, about 3 or 4 a.m. I had just experienced a pretty bad breakup with someone I've been on and off with since I was 14. I'm almost 20. This was a serious relationship. We've been engaged twice. It was kind of a big deal. And for some reason, I couldn't stop crying. I'm not usually one who cries, so this kind of worried me. I felt like something inside of me had broken. I'd been holding back for so long that I felt something inside of me just let go. At this point, I knew I was ready to pretty much let go and let God. I called my current band director, Mr. Wes Dykes, to talk to him about this decision, and the next morning we prayed in his office. In such a short time, I've learned to let go of a lot of things. Some things, admittedly, are harder to let go than others. And I realize that I still have quite a bit of work to do. And since I've been up here, I've realized that in Christ alone, my hope is found. Thank you.